Hello and welcome to another pen video from me, Penultimate Dave. So I have here another pen for review, and this, as you can see, is a Benu pen, and this is the Earl Grey Tea model. So this is a Goulet Pens exclusive. You can see the newly redesigned Benu box, which I actually think is looks a little bit nicer actually than the previous boxes. And if we remove the lid of that box, you'll see inside it has this paper pouch or card pouch. It has a product information and lifetime warranty and a bed of shredded paper. I always actually wonder whether or not Benu have just shredded plain paper or if there's any writing on this paper. I never see any writing or any ink, so I think it is just plain paper. So I think let's remove the pen from the pouch, and I will show you the pen in all its glory. And this is the Benu, and this is the Euphoria, and it's the Earl Grey tea. And as you know, I'm partial to Earl Grey tea. If you've watched many of my videos, both Earl Grey tea and also Lady Grey tea. And I think this is a little bit more of a Lady Grey colour, a little bit more citrusy looking. That said, I really do like this. And I was very glad that I was able to place an order with Goulet around, it was just before Christmas in last year. 2023, and I was able to pick this up from Goulet. I also bought a number of ink misers as well. I typically do like the ink misers, and I have to say that I do find them useful, certainly the ones that stand up on your desk. But this was really what I was after, and you can see why. This is a beautiful specimen of a pen. It's got this sort of like amber, orangey, citrusy kind of color there in the resin. Has a lot of gold flakes in there, but the thing that interests me the most is not only the name of Earl Grey tea, but it's also got Earl Grey tea actually infused into the resin, along with blue lavender that you can see there as well, which is what you do find in Earl Grey tea. And there's a nice blue bit there up on the cap. It is a really nice pen. The only thing that I think Benu really have hit a home run with this, it sold out very quickly. It has come back into stock again. Unfortunately, I'd like to buy another one, but now Goulet have stopped shipping internationally because of customs issues on their website. So it's a bit of a shame, because I think I would like a second one of these. Now, if I unscrew the cap, I have got this one in a broad nib. Number 6 size nib. It is a cartridge converter, so if I unscrew the body there that you can see, it's a standard Schmidt K5 converter, which is an international converter. A lot of threads there, but this is actually quite nice. It fits really well in the size of my hand. I do find the section though on the Euphorias do start to become a little bit thinner. I can post the cap on it if I want to as well. So that's another thing going for the Euphoria model. And I have to say, I really like this. I got it in a broad because I knew that I was going to put some Earl Grey ink in here. And not the Diamine Earl Grey, which is a grey coloured ink, but a dominant industry Earl Grey, which is more of an orange, citrusy coloured ink. So I wanted a broad nib in here so that it would show up the orange ink a little bit more on the page. Why would I want 2 of these? Well, I was thinking about maybe getting one in a medium and putting Diamine Earl Grey, which is a grey coloured ink, in it. But I have to say, I think I would struggle a little bit to try and sort of know the difference between which pen has got what ink until I start writing with it. So that would be a downside, and I don't normally go for multiples of the same pen. Very, very rarely do I. But this is a beautiful pen. So you can see there, the cap finial is a bit of a dome that you can see. And then the clip is functional. You pinch down at the end here on the Euphoria models, so that is quite functional. It is a faceted pen, and it tapers in towards the cap finial, tapers out to essentially what is the cap band there, a bit of a step down, and then it tapers down to basically the end finial there. But this is a nice pen, and I really, really am loving writing with this so far. I've been writing with it for a couple of months now, and I have to say that it really is a comfortable pen. Now, I do have other Benus as well. I do have, and I can show you here, because these are faceted. I can show you, I've got the New Year 2023. I've got, you've probably seen this, I've got the bourbon, and I also have the vodka on the rocks. I do find that the Euphoria model for me is the right size, the right length, and I have to say I do like a little bit of sparkly sort of pens, certainly on these Benus. I really do like the vodka on the rocks. The bourbon is again a nice colour, but I'd have to say that the Earl Grey tea is the winner out of all of these. I really, really do like the Earl Grey tea. So, will I buy another one of these? I'm not so sure. I kind of would like one. My vodka on the rocks has got a fine nib. My bourbon's got a fine nib. My New Year 2023's got a medium nib, and this one's got a broad. I kind of would like another medium, so that might be one that I will be thinking about. I'll have to see if Goulet do open up for international shipping again. Last I checked, they have not, which is a shame. I would like to get another one of these. They are limited edition, but they're not sort of a limited edition run. They're more of a special edition. So it's not a numbered edition, but this really is a beautiful pen. So, and I'm glad that it's also called the Earl Grey tea as well. So I think with that, let's do a size check. We'll do a weight check. We'll do a pen comparison, and then we'll do a writing sample. So the length of the pen, we are looking at about 150 millimeters in length. The length of the cap is about 70 millimeters in length. So that is a longer cap, actually, compared to a lot of pens that I review. But I think a longer cap is typically normally around about 60, 65 millimeters. And then the length of the pen from the tip of the nib or tip of the tines, we're looking at about 140 millimeters in length. So that is definitely an oversized pen. And you can see that there in my hand. If I'm holding it down at the base of the section, it's actually quite long. I can hold it up a little bit more on these threads. You don't feel these threads as much, but you can hold it higher up if you want to. There is a little bit of a step down from the cylindrical to the facets, but you don't really feel it unless you're trying to hold it right the way up here, which I think would be a little bit too high for most people. But that is a very comfortable pen to hold. So I think with that, let's do a weight check. Now, this pen is inked up, so the full weight of the pen, we're looking at about 27 grams in weight. The weight of the cap, we are looking at just under 11.5 grams in weight. And the weight of the body, we're looking at just over 15.5 grams in weight. So that is actually a fairly light pen. It's not the lightest pen, though, that I have reviewed, but it really is a comfortable pen to be able to write with. So I think with that, let's do a comparison with other pens. So from left to right, we have a Mont Blanc, and this is the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle 1902 edition. We have a Mont Blanc, and this is Le Petit Prince Aviator Douai. We have a Mont Blanc, and this is the Brothers Grimm. We have an Anoto. This is the Great Roof Metallic Edition. We have a Benu Euphoria in the Earl Grey tea. We have an Anoto, and this is the Magna Classic in the David Copperfield. We have an Anoto Platinum Jubilee Sterling Silver, an Anoto Coronation in Sterling Silver. We have an Anoto Magna Classic in the Chased Amber Pearl, and we have an Anoto Charles Dickens 2023 Christmas Cowl in the silver gilding. So I think let's now do a writing sample. So this is the Benu Euphoria, and it is the Earl Grey tea, and it is a Goulet exclusive, and I got this with a board, and it's a steel Schmidt nib. And the ink in here today, I mentioned before, is Dominant, Industry, and it is Earl Grey tea. Now, in terms of line variation, we're definitely seeing about a Western board. Can I push it a bit further? I can. It is a steel nib, so you can push that a little bit more if you want to. And we'll do some more vertical lines so you can see that there's no hard starts or skips. Now, in terms of ink wetness, let's take a look. So you can see here that it's a wet nib, but it's not overly wet. It's not a super sort of fire hose nib. But these vertical lines where I started to push it a little bit more is still wet. So you're still going to need to wait a little bit of dry time to change pages or turn pages in a notebook. What do I like? What do I not like about this pen? Well, I love that Benu was open to doing an Earl Grey tea pen, calling it Earl Grey tea as well, and infusing it with Earl Grey tea. You really don't see something like that normally in a pen. So that's why this pen is kind of special and special to me. I do think it's a beautiful pen. I think really Benu have knocked the ball out of the ballpark here. What do I dislike about the pen? There's nothing I dislike about the pen. The only thing I would say is I really wish that this wasn't just a Goulet exclusive and it was a regular production one so you could buy it anywhere. But I do understand retailers wanting their own sort of special editions to try and bring in customers. But I do wish that I could have bought this more locally in the UK and not had to then pay a lot more in shipping and import tax, where it would have been easier for me if I could have bought it in the UK. But other than that, there's really nothing I dislike about this pen. It really is a nice pen, and that broad nib writes really well. I've got some mediums, I've got some fines. I typically am preferring this broad nib over certainly the fine nibs, although there is a place for those fine nibs in letter writing and journaling. So I do like having those, but I think if I were to buy a second one of these, and I'm not sure that I will, but if I did, I think I would buy it in a medium nib, so I have a medium and a board, and I'd probably ink it up with Diamond Earl Grey at that point. But as I mentioned before, it would then be difficult to try and tell the difference between which pen had the grey ink and which pen had the orange ink until you start to write with it. But there you have it. That's my unboxing and review of the Benu Euphoria Earl Grey tea, a Goulet Pens exclusive. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you on the next pen video. Bye-bye.